Today, I'm about to drop some serious knowledge that will make you stand out from the rest when it comes to knowing how to present a growth strategy. You see, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to confidently show your expertise with a bulletproof plan that screams, I know my stuff. Picture this, you're in a meeting, or maybe it's a Zoom call, doesn't matter. What matters is you're about to lay down a growth strategy that's gonna have everyone's eyes open up a little. Whether it's trying to seal the deal with potential clients, land that job, or simply earn the respect of your boss, this is your ticket to standing out. In fact, this is how I built a moat around me and made my first impression last, due to providing value straight from the bat. You see, there are many types of marketing roles. Growth marketing is where you have to move the needle. You need to be good at presenting a strategy that shows where the company should focus and execute its growth efforts. Mastering the art of presenting a growth strategy is crucial for effectively putting it into action. So, this is my 6-step playbook inspired by the many presentations I've done in the past. You first start with the summary. So this is a 1 or 2 pager summarizing the most essential ideas of your growth strategy. Its purpose is to make everyone from the company you're sharing your strategy with quickly understand what's your growth plan for the coming months. Make sure to be extremely clear and straightforward. The second part is the state of growth of the company. In this section, we want to have a clear overview on A, how the company performed during the past quarters in reaching its growth objectives, and B, how the company currently grows. This part is an observation of the past that will help you build your growth strategy for the future. With part A, how the company has performed during the past quarters, this is a starting point to see what we've done well during the last period and then what we'll try to improve with our growth strategy for the next period. So select 3 to 5 metrics that are very important for the company, presented in a table with a comparison versus your plan and year over year. Don't try to report on all metrics. It will quickly become complicated. So with part B, how your company currently grows, here we want to visualize the channels and the tactics that contributes to the growth. So how do you acquire customers? What are your main acquisition channels and how do they perform? How do they activate and retain customers? How do you monetize them? A simple figure or table accompanied by text can explain this. This objective is not to dive deep, but to give a reminder of how the growth happens in the company. Part 3 is the North Star metrics and KPIs. Now that we have an understanding of how we performed during the last period, it's time to see what will be our focus for the upcoming one. Part of this section is what is the main goal. So these are the lagging indicators / outcomes known as the North Star metric. It should not be something you can directly control or influence. Rather, it should be something or an outcome of all your marketing efforts. Mention why you are focusing on this by elaborating on the previous section, as you should have highlighted things to improve. For example, if the number of trial users was low, but all the other metrics were great, it should probably be a good thing to focus on the trial conversion rate. So the second part are KPIs. These are 3 to 5 supporting goals to support the goals. These are the measurements and leading indicators of how to achieve the North Star, the inputs that drive the outputs. Set KPIs you will try to hit, as the sum of improvements on those KPIs is what will contribute to reaching the main objective. This leads to the next part of the strategy, which is objectives and forecast. This section will serve as a reference point to assess your performance. There are generally 2 ways to define this. So one is top-down, so objectives that have already been defined by the decision maker or leader. You just have to include them, or bottom-up. So you need to build your own objectives and forecast, as it's key to build a realistic plan based on what you know will work and the potential impact of new experiments, the new things you'll test. So the next section of this growth strategy, part 5, is high-level growth plan. It's time to build your growth plan with a high-level view to answer the question, what are the main levers you're going to do to reach the objectives? So this is just a simple one-page summary presenting your growth strategy, including channels you'll work on, segments you'll run, which part of the funnel you're working on. It's best to separate the channels already working well that you're monitoring and continuously improving, and the new projects and experiments to test with yet an unknown impact. So this leads to the final part, number 6, resources needed. To properly execute your growth strategy, you need resources. If you need extra support, then it's time to ask for it. I include this section at the end of the growth strategy playbook because it's key to have a clear strategy and vision before asking for resources. When asking for resources, be clear on the following. What type of resources do you need? Is it financial, the budget, or human, an agency, freelance, or bandwidth from another team member? Why do you need those resources? What's in stake if you don't have them? For example, it can be impossible to test a new tactic without extra budget or help from a team member. Next is, what is the cost of those resources? The cost can be financial, but also human. Again, bandwidth from another team member. So prioritize your needs because you're likely not to get everything you want. There are often many trade-offs. Your projects are competing with other teams when it comes to allocating resources. So those are my 6 steps to present a killer growth strategy. So here are a few tips and tricks before starting. First, use the right tools. A simple Google slide or PowerPoint perfectly does the job. You want something that can handle both your words and visuals with ease. You also want to make the document visually engaging. Charts, diagrams, and visuals are a powerful way to illustrate your ideas. Use them as much as you can when relevant. You also want to keep it simple, especially when you're presenting to decision makers and higher level up people. Keep your deck readable, but also robust and on point. Another tip is use snappy titles. Instead of the classic titles like growth strategy plan, go with something like our growth efforts will be on user activation, playing both on marketing and product levers. See the difference? Another tip is to engage your audience. So welcome challenges, involve them in your strategy building. More involvement from stakeholders equals more support and more commitment. And lastly, another tip is include additional information in an appendix. So basically everyone who wants to do a deep dive into your tactics and experiments and the details can do so. So that's it. That's my insights to presenting a killer growth strategy. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for making it to the end. And if you like this video, I know you'll enjoy this one.